Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight, goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind, that is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity.
We're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 14. It's Division 3, it's round number 2, it's the second of the American doubleheaders. It's gonna be nighttime, it is the circuit of the Americas. I'm Alexa Marshall, joined by Marlon Abubo and Cube Master. Gentlemen, we've got a race tonight, and after what we saw last week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you can only expect a lot more chaos tonight.
Starting this a bit late, night ahead of us. Drivers qualifying track. Marlon, what are you expecting to see?
Well, considering what we saw last week, I expect a lot more carnage at the end. Once again, we know that these drivers are really good in the beginning few laps. We know that they're good in the middle laps, but as we saw the last 20 minutes, there seemed to be a ramp up in carnage.
Yes.
Drivers are out on qualifying laps, so we'll do the track. The silver and so we are local time in game. Bit of sunlight. Later on, race. Pitch black. The problem.
We may talk about visibility, but there will be one spectacle. That's going to be the COTA lasers. Right now, watching Justin for Ferrari Alaska Racing Team, the number 35, the silver driver. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. If you don't know how qualifying works, we'll go through this one real quick for you. It is a 20-minute qualifying. However, the first 10 minutes is for silver only, and the last 10 minutes for gold only. Easy way to differentiate what driver category they are in. The gold drivers have the white number plate with black number, and the silver drivers have the grey number plate with white number. And as you head through the triple apex right-hander and down into the final two corners, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Qualifying around this circuit is an uphill run to turn 1, and we shall wait and see what Justin can do around here, Cube.
One of the famous part of this track, that's kind of famous part. One of the famous part is the uphill braking in turn 1. As you can see here, it's a 41-meter climb. It's quite tough if you have to ride a bike through it or walk, have a track walk. Exit is pretty critical because you're flat through 2, 3 here. Also 3 quick dab in turn 4. The assets are lifted straight out of Suzuka Sector 1 or Silverstone Maggot and back. It's quite challenging drive, very rewarding if you get it right on lap time, and track limit is hard to handle. Coming to turn 8 and 9, beginning of Sector 2, setting you up to this teeny curve of turn 10, hard braking. It's going to be a diving spot, turn 11. But if you're diving, you're going to compromise your exit, back straight. Long straight, long toe, bring you down to another diving spot of turn.
Well, this is going to be one of the key factors as well, especially here in qualifying. this circuit is known, it's COTA, and it's the one of the few, it's the only circuit in game, I should say, which has Formula 1 track limits. So some circuits you can push it out with a curb, but those white lines at this track is where the limits are. As Justin will continue round into the left-hander and into the braking zone. Dive down the inside is a variable option throughout the rest of the race, but of course this is qualifying. It will be pitch black when it comes to the racing time. However, as we continue going around here, it is sunset. You may wonder, are the track temperatures going to drop for the Gold Division drivers? We shall wait and see. Into the left-hander, onto the throttle one more time. It's pedal to the metal, foot to the floor, then heavy onto the brakes. Into the final corner, you will go through the left-hander and onto the main stretch. You got the uphill run, but not here on the main straight. It's the final turn. It's 207, but that's quickly beaten by Aoki. Sky goes P2, not so much, but still within a tenth of a second within that top driver time. And it is going to be a few more drivers still in the pit lane. It's Aoki leading, followed by Sky and Justin.
Death. Or
and a key factor at
got a
Darren.
additional pole for silver. What time?
Lap time was a 2:07.045. However, you were speaking about let's re-jog the viewers' memories a little bit here. Last week out at Indianapolis, 2 silver drivers being on that podium position, only 1 gold driver. One of those drivers was Rocha. So coming into this race, Marlon, what do you think we can expect from him tonight?
Well, from Seth Roca, I did just check the times for the practice sessions. Seth Roca actually does put up the second fastest time. I think that is the second time he's done that. Last time he did in Indianapolis, as we saw, and he did manage to get it into a top 3 position. But Seth Roca, yeah, he should be looking faster on here. If he can get a really good qualifying, he could again get another podium. But again, let's talk about the silver drivers. We have Zodi Fade in the lead with 100 points, leading the championship by 8 over Seth Roca, who is down by 8 points, but again, he had the fastest time in practice, and we saw that these drivers in particular, their practice times do translate over to the race. So we might see a battle between the silver drivers here. We have Darren Wicks following in by 57 points, and then Panzo Rigatoni with 54, and then Justin McKenzie with 51. That's going to be your top 5. Mark Anthony Eaton, 45 points. Christian Holmes, Jonathan Wood, Josh Grush, and Shane Transu. That's going to be your top 10. And then Aoki, as we were talking about, who has the 3rd position right now for silver, he's going to be in P11 in the championship, so we'll see what he can do tonight. Justin Rosenthal following him behind with 15 points. Russell Allen, 11 points. Pat Cockcroft, and then Thomas Reg is going to round out your top 15 for the silver division. And then Eric Rutherham, Ian Demler, Austin Townsend, Rowdy Burns, Zach Sky. That's going to be your top 20. And then the last 2, Quinn Shanter and Dean Stefani, is going to be your last 2 for the silver championship.
Yeah, well, you were just talking about him there before. Key things to point out here. Roca did go to the top there, now dethroned by Wicks. Fade, who you were just talking about, is going to be making his way through the circuit, through the triple right-hander, and trying to keep it clean. The Ferrari 296 and one car which many drivers may be accustomed to. We got plenty of those on the grid tonight, and heading out into the penultimate corner, then into the final corner. Got to be getting on that throttle as quickly as possible when you exit. Use the apex to the perfect opportunity. The Sky livery will go to the top. It's Fade, who with a 2:06.207. What can Sky do in P4? They were on pole a few moments ago as Chanter goes up to P3.
And what a sorry.
Fade this lap's quite a killer. Got a 4 margin 6 on up there in the Wakes. I think he's sitting pretty comfortable right now in silver pole. See if there's actually Death is threatening for that pole position, not just the front wall. He's eyeing for the pole. Turn margin just barely enough to cut Doty's pole position. Coming in turn 9. second to last turn. Very, very easy to exit too wide. Keep it just tidy. The last turn, turn 3. Looks pretty, but lost just enough delta. He'll be in second row parallel next to.
So realistically, it's not too bad as we see a Porsche going a little bit slow up at the top. That is because there's only 1 minute 10 seconds remaining here in the silver qualifying. It is 19-degree track temperature, 19-degree ambient, a wind of 3 kilometers coming into the circuit. The track surface is optimal, and there is no rain on the forecast. When it comes to the race, it's going to be dry but dark. That's going to be making it a little bit harder for the drivers to see where the others are. They're going to be relying on their headlights and the others' brake lights. And of course, as we come onto the back stretch, it's going to be your best overtaking opportunity around this circuit. Not so much here in qualifying, as you'll want to go as fast as possible down here and onto the braking zone. You want to have a decent setup. You want to have enough straight line speed where you don't lose too much time on this back stretch. However, you've also got to have the downforce of that final sector and that first sector. You need a very balanced setup, otherwise you're going to be losing loads of time. 20 seconds remain here in silver qualifying, and so if you cross that line with 10 minutes 1 second to go, you are allowed to have one more silver qualifying run, but once it reaches 10 minutes, you are out and you cannot go again. Zach Sky for Champion Motorsport Season 12, he's going to be coming on to his final lap. Currently sits P number 3 overall and in the silver category, 0.445 off the current top lap time set by Fade over 2 minutes 6.090. As we come around onto the final few corners into the triple right-hander apex. It's what everybody knows about this circuit. It's infamous with that tower right next to it. You gotta wonder how lovely those views must be at the circuit of the Americas. Of course, located just outside of Austin International Airport, literally down the road. It located in Austin, Texas. Of course, we're up north in Indy, but now we're down south in Texas. One more time through this final corner, you will go. Fade will not get another lap time in. Sky currently gonna go to the line, and he will reach for the Sky, but it's not gonna be enough. 0.375 behind as Roker goes to the top. 2 minutes 6.047. That's going to be the final run for him here in silver qualifying. A few more drivers yet to come to the line. What is Shane going to be able to do? Currently sat P number 9 to the 216 Ferrari coming into the final few corners. Onto the throttle as these gold drivers are now out on the circuit. Into the final corner through the left-hander. Yellow flags will fly as people with RTG going to be going across the line. Where will he go? Here in Austin, Texas. Stays P number 9 for the time being.
Let me cut you off there. We have another lead or podium change. We have Wicks pushing Sky out of the top 3. That's going to push him a lot more closer to the front. But again, we have the gold drivers coming out now. So let's see what they can do for their qualifying time.
Last silver drop. No. I'm going to double right. I call it Turkey turn 8. Ooh, nasty, nasty. He has to lift mid corners. Yes, correct. He lost a bunch of his delta. To through 19. Is he going to do a pit entry practice? Correct. Exactly what he's doing right here. And he's about to close the pit.
And he's going to tap the wall.
The pit is closed, guys.
Luckily, it's only qualifying, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see. The 3-2-1, that is going to be Samuel Cortez, the 3-3-1 in the Ford Mustang here on American soil. They're going to be the first driver in the gold division to set a lap time tonight. But you may ask, are the classifications really correct? We'll find out tonight even more as Indianapolis gave us a first look. We'll get another look tonight as Cortez will put that pedal to the metal, the foot to the floor, and he will begin his first lap time here. The 3-3-1 will continue around the circuit as we see a train beginning to build up as everybody tries to get the gaps. The 3-3-1 heads out the first corner and will continue down the hill. You will go onto the right hander one more time. You have about 41 meter uphill climb and then into the S's and then into the S's again. You try to keep it as clean as possible. You've also got to wonder how tight can it get. Through the long right hander you will go and into the braking zone for the chicane as you get a little bit tighter. Further further and further, a little bit tighter as we go through. Chicane just up ahead, you don't want to lose too much time. Infamous for some drivers, and it may be hard to get, but it's not going to work out that time. Onto the throttle one more time, through the hill, and down we go. Onto the throttle, closer and closer. Heavy braking zone now. Heading, you can see the car undulate, you can see the car shuffle into the left-hander and onto this back straight. The Ford Mustang, infamous for its straight line speed, faster and faster. Onto the throttle as you get that as you get it as much as possible. How aerodynamic is that car going to be? How perfect is that setup going to be? They're going to be the first driver for TC8 Racing Team, heading down the back straight into the braking zone. Head onto the brakes as quickly as possible. The stars on the circuit as you continue to fly by, looking into the braking zone, into the right-hander. It begins to tighten up with every single corner that you go through. A little bit of a tricky section here as you head through the circuit of the Americas. Into the lefts, into the left again, the double left-hander, known for it, then into the triple right-hander. You try not to lose it too much, you don't want to go wide, you don't want to lose all of your time. Heading into the right and keeping it tight, heading onto the exit as much as you go. Heading into the final few, the penultimate corner comes up now. Try to keep it within and on the racing line. You don't take it wide like NASCAR. Is that going to be track limits, or does he keep it within? Into the final corner, through the left-hander, we will see TCR8 Racing Team. It's Samuel Cordes, the 331, goes to the line, goes P3, 0.245. Of course, you've got to wonder, was that only a banker?
That's actually definitely just a banker. I believe we'll see low 05.
I was gonna say that is going to be Samuel Cortez putting up that time, 2:06.292. He did put the fastest time in the practice sessions, and he was the only gold driver to get that podium spot. So he has a lot more time to find here, especially in the Mustang. As we know, a lot of us don't like the Mustang, but we'll accept it for now because it's a race. We're all just here to watch it, and it's gonna be a great race. Hopefully.
For those Mustang hater, we can't hear your hate over our large displacement V8, so.
Okay. I will stay a Mustang hater for life.
I don't hate them, so I joined them.
I forgot if I'm gonna see them in Long Beach, but you know what? I'll be hating them too at Long Beach.
We're on with Austin Weiss Garver. It's aiming for 205, a high 205. In front of him is his mate, Mike Gino, or Mike Gone. Mike Gone is just gone. Garver is done. Cause any delta loss? Nope. Garver is still half a second in front of improvement, looking for. Okay, thanks. Oh! The birds. Let's see it. Coming into Turkey turn 8. Also, teeny bit of his delta, but still enough to have pole. Turn 19.
I'm sorry, Cubic. Okay, let me interrupt you for a second because Cortez is about to pass the line with 8/10 up. That's going to be a massive time. 2:05.47. So the next gold driver is going to be White Scar. He's going to have to find 7/10 to at least beat Cortez, but he's going to have to first find 5/10 to beat the silver drivers, which is shocking.
That is a massive. Did he just beat his personal best? I think Cortez
yes,
just beat his PB.
That is what pushing alien times now.
Someone's looking for promotion for sure. On board with Dipper Burns Sr. into P2 with quite a good margin to P3, but he's still a full quarter second behind Cortez.
That will be Junior.
That'll be Junior, that's right. Senior actually is here tonight with us on chat, so it's great.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see realistically, as we are a little bit low volume for Cube, it seems, as we continue through the left, and into the right-hander one more time. Through the S's we will go. It's Gordon Beverly, the third, and we continue through Kota. As you head throughout this circuit, there is 2 minutes 7 seconds remaining on the clock here at the Circuit of the Americas here in qualifying. It's 19-degree track, and it is clear all around. A little bit of cloud, well, very overcast actually. The graphic does not exactly do it justice, as Cortez 2:05.472 currently the top lap time. Zipperburn 0.248 behind, then Beverly the third 0.480. Wood is in the fourth gold driver actually, so that has bumped down Rocha and Fade, so it's going to be interesting to see what they will be able to do on the race start. Heading into these final few corners one more time, Cortez may be on for an improvement, we'll wait and see. Heading into the final corner, into the braking zone, through the left-hander, we will go onto the throttle one more time, and he will go on to his final lap here at the Circuit of the Americas. Cortez does get an improvement, and he will continue to fly. Right now, you got to wonder what the rest of the drivers are doing. That is going to be Jason Yaron, or should I say Yaren, as you say Yar like a pirate, as that is the name of the team. Through the right-hander, the 545 Ferrari is going to be an interesting one, which I believe that's actually a 4.8. I believe that's actually a 4.88 Ferrari, not the 296.
Yeah, that's
correct.
A 4.88. What a pick
Throwback
of a car. Yeah. Let me interrupt for a second, because Gino does make it a P2 now, 3/10 back in that beautiful Cuphead livery. Dick Zipperburn Jr. looking at its improvement as well. Also, Gordon Beverly the third. Can they strike out this P2 spot? Cortez though, putting up that monstrous lap, 2:05.3. That's gonna put him in a really safe position. Any other gold drivers improving? We have Riggs pushing 3/10, almost 4/10 now, but he is going to be in sector 2, that looks like, so he's going to be fighting, or he's going to be
he's gonna cough that delta right back up. He had a massive fly exiting tank.
We do have Krolikowski. I think we went over how he said his name last week, so I think he did say Krolikowski. He is 3/10 up on his time, but he did go off track, so that this lap is not going to count for him. That would have put Cortez looking at more time improvements, at least 2/10. He's gonna lose that time though, so he's gonna be pushing it a little bit back, but he's still, oh no, he's finding more time again.
Nope, Cortez just parked it. He's good.
And
it's good enough. No one can touch him.
At the end of qualifying.
Yeah,
we do have Tourage. Tourage looking at 3/10. Tourage, can he make a position change here? That would put him, if he does go 2 or 3/10 up, that would put him up at least P10 or P9. No other gold driver looks to be improving by that big of a margin. Krolikowski though, 3/10 up. Again, we did say his lap time is going to be invalidated, so that is where he's going to be stopping. And no other gold drivers are looking to improve. All the other gold drivers, looks like they're returning to pit.
They is in back 4/10 to 6/10 in Alcumber.
Well,
Bit of sector 3, or just started sector 3 into the stadium section.
You do have Queasy does improve to within the top 20, the fellow commentator, so had to shout him out.
Squeeze.
They did hit P15.
Yeah, well, this is the key thing. Checkered flag has now fallen here in qualifying. It is Season 14, Division 3, Round number 2. It's Circuit of the Americas. These will be the final runs. Heading down into the final left-hander. Kyle Cumber currently sat P number 28. May not go to the top, but currently the number 60 goes to the line, goes P number 23. That is where they will sit for the time being. The last driver to come across the line will be the 945. That is going to be Colin Shee for Stefas Designs, partnered with Champion Motorsport. Goes around the final corner, will be the final driver, goes to the line, only P19, 1.552 off the top time, but still, when you think about it, top 26 within 2 seconds of each other, and the top 9 all within 110, all within a second.
That is quite a gap, except the Cortez, the sandbagger.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see, as, ladies and gentlemen, your racing action will be coming your way after a quick word from our sponsors and affiliates.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
We're back. We're standing real quick. We're not gonna make everyone take a look, see real quick.
We did go over the silver driving, but we do have all the drivers here. And the
Standing right now,
teams.
Seth and Adam Berluskowski, 550. Cortez and we have Mike Jean Garver's P2 white tie. Actually, 2 through
P2
7
through like 7, yeah.
Yes, definitely. And also, we're very early in season. See, promotion demotion may change up the standing a lot.
Yeah, promotion here could change a lot for these drivers. We did talk about these drivers being particularly fast, but we do see 5 gold drivers now in the top 5. How do you feel about that, considering we saw silver drivers almost take over last week?
I think we're also missing one person, Aiden Burke, last week.
Oh yeah.
Dominating entire field, not even close. So maybe trying to standard
in that race as well.
Yeah, long pit and
it was his
then
pit, yeah.
and then self delete. And he has work conflict for tonight, so he minus on track. Because of this, we'll stay under the rate of promotion. As for today, I feel like the feels pretty tight. Cortez definitely shoulder ahead of everyone and have a good fight. Cortez probably just a single player for
anything can happen within this hour. Because we saw, I mean, as we were talking about Berg, right? Something, long pit entry. So I'm not saying Cortez would fall into that as well, but it's racing. Sim racing gets intense. Anything can happen. That's why we're here to look over it for you guys' entertainment.
right now, 16. It is rough in the first 2 laps when your tires are old and you have to brake around a long track and the tire cool down. There's only so much you can hold your brake for. So the first lap, sector 1 can get really dicey and early.
Relatively cold throughout the whole lap, just because, again, we're in a nighttime race. No sun, able to warm that track up, so it's all just the driver lines. Well, the race is about to start. We'll hand it over to Alexa here. They're entering the final corner.
Come down to the end of the formation lap. They enter double file. Here at Indianapolis, I should say Indy was last week, my bad. It is going to be the Formula 1 here at the circuit of the Americas, but as they go double file, they will look for retribution from last week. They will look for any redemption arcs they may need, and as they look, oh no, the eyes go to the lights, and without further ado, boogity, let's go racing as the green flag drops and away we go. That's going to be an amazing start for the Ford Mustang. Not so much for the Aston line on the inside, but already down into turn number 1, or should I say uphill. A little bit of chaos further back as everybody's going to be going off. Drivers going off the circuit, wheel to wheel, side by side momentarily. Going forward, Brest on the exit, now goes into a square, free abreast as we see Darren Wicks right as the rest of the drivers will come through the field. You can see the headlights lighting up this circuit, and it's what you'll love to see. The rest of the track going to be continuing through the left, through the right. You continue on towards the back stretch. This is where it counts. Cortez leads, followed by Zipperburn Jr. and Gino. Rocher's going to be there in number 4. Very good start for Zipperburn. So it is also there Cortez. Down into the down to the braking zone at the end of sector 1 onto the back stretch. Got to be going pedal to the metal, full to the floor. It's going to be your best overtaking opportunity. Further and further, a little bit extra per lap. You will continue. Got to be looking for those gaps to continue to close in. Is anybody going to have that slipstream? Is anybody going to have opportunity? What does it look like further back in the field as we do continue going on here at the circuit of the Americas, down into the braking zone to find where it's going to count. Where will you make those opportunities? Where will you make those moves? Maybe a little bit of desperation on lap 1. We already saw 1 contact and 1 spin. A little bit further back through the right-hander as you continue here at Kota. A little bit further, a little bit more chaos, but the cup head livery seeming to get through pretty clean. As you can see, already see in the back, that's going to be a McLaren, I do believe. Going to be getting that move done down the inside through the double right-hander into the double left-hander as they all now go single file. That was one heck of an amazing lap. As further back, that is going to be yellow flags flying, and that is going to be extremely unlucky for what seems to be the 8-9-8. That is going to be unlucky for some. 3-4-3 on the exit now as they enter the next lap, Marlon.
Yeah, I was gonna say that first lap, a lot of chaos near the end, but we also had some chaos at the first turn. Wicks is going to be the sole driver that was impacted the most, but he does manage to find 2 places back into a position. We do have someone pitting. That's going to be Watts pitting, I believe, for damage because his lights are going to go out. Any other drivers? No. Cortez again taking that lead already. 1 second gap, but we do have Zipper Jr. Covering a 1.4 second gap from P3, so that we already have 2 big gaps from the top 2 positions. Any other drivers that we can mention? Seeley looking at Ford. Oh my goodness, he loses that rear, but he's able to control his car. What's that going to do for his time against the person behind? I mean, relatively, this lap is looking a lot better than this lap 1. Less contact, but now the drivers are more spread out, so it makes a lot more sense. Cube, how do you feel about that lap 1?
That one's relatively okay. We have 40, so I would say relatively good. Turn 1. Sector 1 is always chaotic. When everyone's bunched up, we're trying to go 2 side by side, 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide if someone's going off track. Chaos going to happen. Curtis Lexus is parting through Aston Martin of Martin Rex. Look into the inside, not quite, and Martin Rex absolutely penetrated Yarin. Let's try to replay.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay on that. You can already see it. You got the Lexus coming in behind. You've got it late. You've got to brake a lot earlier for it, but the Aston Martin seeming to not get the perfect amount of time. Goes battering into the back of the Ferrari, getting collateral damage as well from what seems to be a McLaren and another Aston Martin, seeming to be the no signal team from that livery, and that is going to be unfortunate at the end. You've got to be careful when you're coming down to the end of that straight, as that is where chaos can and Zipperburn Jr. also being brought down in that lap time. Zipperburn Jr. now picking up fast lap. To have the advantage here. That final sector, the Porsche is a slight bit more nimble than the Ford Mustang can be. It's a bit before a bit of a tank into corners on the straights, like you see here. It just begins to drag away like it's a drag race, as there is yellow flags momentarily in the final corner, as there is already two packs beginning to form a little bit of a split in the middle of the grid, and that is going to be through the S's. We will go. Marlon, do you have any information on what happened?
I'm so sorry. I believe that's going to be Yaron. He was looking to pit, but he just hits the pit wall on entry. That's gonna give him a lot more time to repair it as he's doing his pit lane. I mean, he's gonna get rid of his mandatory pit, as I don't believe we talked about it, but we do have a mandatory stop for all the drivers here. One tire change, and that's all you have to do. Wicks, there's gonna be a long time for Wicks as well. All of these people entering the pits, pitting for damage, but let's see if it pays off for them, because
it's going to be a long hour for them.
Yeah, a very long hour, especially this nighttime race, messing with visibility. And once those headlights go out, you pretty much cannot see anything, regardless if this is a NASCAR track where they say you don't need headlights. Clearly, that differs a lot from every series.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. It does come down to it. You've got to wonder, as the lasers do fly over this circuit. It's lovely, I do say so myself. But right now, we do look at Justin. We got a replay on that, as that is going
Aoki got a boo-boo. Let's look. Aoki and Yaron down back straight into turn 12. Yaron on the inside. Aoki did not see him. It's the lateral distance a little too far between. Okay, at least everyone's pointing the right way afterward.
They
could have been worse.
Each other out, yeah.
Yup. Quite a train here from P22 to 32. Long train. Nice racing.
Well, you gotta wonder how these trains continue, as the driver ahead of Justin being young. Going to be having a little bit of a wobble coming out there at that penultimate corner, so that may cost him a little bit of time. You've also got to be careful, because you've got Allen and Rudderman behind him, as well as Reg and Townsend. You've got the trains forming around this circuit. You've got Watts, Wicks and Deminer, who have pitted. The 48A going to be going in. Almost a little bit of contact behind for the Porsche, looking to go into the back of the Mustang there momentarily. As we do continue around this circuit, 2 minutes 47 on the clock, and maybe a little bit unlucky there for Ruotsalainen in that carbon fiber livery. Not going to go with the mean this week. We go through the left-hander, as sometimes you got to be a bit more careful when coming through this first section of this track. As over the crest and down the hill we will now come. You got to be careful of the two Porsches ahead of you as well. They may be working together to continue on in this battle further and further. With every single inch that you get closer, you've got to wonder, how will these drivers continue to go up against each other, especially down this back straight when they're so close by.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's going to be an overtake by Rigatoni, gaining a place on Williams. What a clean overtake. His teammates looking to do the same thing, but he does back out in that corner. Wow, what a clean overtake Rigatoni just made on Williams until, what is that, turn?
That's turn 12?
Turn 12, yeah. And Naoki's going to follow suit with another overtake on Burns. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if that's what you were going to talk about, but I'm passing it back to you.
We do actually. We have yellow flags there momentarily. You see the McLaren go around the outside as well. That is going to be the 9-1-3. They have gone off. That is actually going to be Deminer, as we get the replay on that, just going wide as heck and into the barrier. They will go doing a Ross chase staying style there momentarily, continuing against the barrier to keep it going. Not going to work out that time though as we continue with this race in action.
Oh my goodness, car 696, that's going to be Queasy looking to hold on to an overtake position here. On into turn 1, who's going to hold on to this position?
Well, we'll wait and see as Queasy is going to look for the inside
that's going
line.
to be Queasy. Queasy backing out, but he tried that overtake. He does make it, but he just wasn't able to stick it. Just a small mistake from Burns, or sorry, yeah, that is going to be Burns. Queasy's going to take it past this replay. So once this replay is over, we do have Queasy taking that position away from Burns, so he does finalize that move.
Well, that is one of the things that can be inserted and can be unlucky sometimes when we see the replay down at turn number 1 of Queasy trying to go for the move. The door does get slammed shut though, but now he finally gets the move done and he is going to continue on with his good old bottle of water team. Not helping the stereotypes. Continue, goes left then right one more time and continuing on in this battle. 50 minutes remain on the clock, closer and closer. We see a 4-way train continuing down this straight and further and further. Going to be looking for each movement, each mistake, one mistake which can be that key opportunity. Almost goes for a little bit of an overtake down the inside, not going to work out that time though. Looks on the market, going to be going left, going to be going right, goes a little bit twitchy, trying to make his way through, a little bit closer, but it's not going to work out. That's the key. With that stadium section, even into this triple right-hander, it can get a little bit dicey and can get a little bit tricky unless you're willing to go for some sort of a dive there, Marlon.
Oh my goodness, they almost made contact there. That would have been an awful time to make contact. Okay, so we will talk about the top 5 again. Cortez, fastest time in the practice, and now fastest time in the race, 2:06.8. He's looking for that promotion this race. Zipperburn Jr. following with a 2-second gap. Wow. And then Gino following him by 3 seconds. Roca flashing his headlights at Gino, trying to tell him maybe I have enough pace to catch up with Zipperburn Jr. I don't know. Will Roca let him pass, or will Gino let Roca pass? Other than that, we have all the trains just really close with each other. Starting from P6, we have one train built. We have another with P9, Taraj and Martin following behind Arton. That's going to be another train, a smaller train. Taraj, that is going to be a position change. Sorry about that. C. Lee overtaking Shea. Wonder what happened. I wasn't able to see it, but
yeah, well,
maybe we get to see it on the replay.
I went wide on the S's.
Yeah, well, we were looking at that battle just before the camera switched over. It looked like she was going to go for the move around the outside of that time, but this time the McLaren's going to make a mistake. Curtis Lee in the Lexus trying to continue on. He's got a front row seat to this. Williams and McKenney going to continue down this back stretch. This is going to be your main overtaking opportunity. Here comes the Lexus. It's no speed. It's going to get this. It's going to get.
Oh, there's contact.
A little bit of contact there. Down into the braking zone. It's going to look for the move. Almost a bit of contact. Oh, real unlucky. Lexus rear end wobbles out there momentarily. It's going to be the Ferrari, actually, not a Aston Martin. Like I said, my apologies. Through the right-hander, into the left-hander one more time. Going to continue on. Looks for the outside line. Not going to work out that time though. As we do continue on with this fight cube.
Bucking a little bit something here. Looks like the train's pretty good. I think following in this triple right is quite difficult because of the dirty air and on where the aero balances is. They can be wearing out their front heavily. Looks like Curtis is under attack by McKechnie. Justin is going for it. Now the parallel into the front straight. But it's Lexus. You can't touch Lexus on it. Doesn't matter what you are. It's Lexus. Can't touch it.
McKenzie looking to get two, or he lost. She lost 2 positions. Whoa, that's gonna be a snap oversteer. I was just watching the stream. That's gonna be really bad for his tire health there. We do have Martin Riggs going into the pit lane, so maybe
P3 got a boo boo. I'm gonna replay that.
Oh, stay still. A little bit of inch.
Yeah, we're going to get the replay here as we continue going on through the S's. Probably a little bit of a rear end wobble coming through this part of the section. Goes into the left-hander. You can already see it, the rear end slipping out. Goes into the right-hander.
Oh, turn 6 got him.
Cold temperatures, cold tyres, and around you go. Now they're going to have to be careful. Hold the brakes, reverse off a little bit to create a bit more clean air. Flashing the headlights to warn other drivers. They know that they are. And that is going to be extremely unlucky. They will begin to drop down the order. That was the 2-3-1 who we now get an aerial shot of. 15, they have lost plenty of positions there, dropping out of the top 10. Down into the braking zone, into the left-hander one more time. They will continue, go to the down the inside, will Lexus. They almost make contact one more time, but Ferrari's going to get caught behind. That's going to be Jason, and that is going to be real unlucky. Curtis Lee trying to make these, but just cannot seem to. It's unlucky, it's overstated, and sometimes you just got to go for one other. A dive down the inside into this left-hander could be the main opportunity which many go for, but of course this is GT3, not Formula 1.
Yeah, and as you're talking, we have Aoki, who we were talking about earlier, losing 2 positions, might lose a 3rd one to Busterski here. That's... How does that happen? To check who it was, I was just so much... that might have been Burns. I'm so sorry if I messed up the people who made contact. There's almost gonna be contact again by Busterski. What is going on in this 40-minute or 20 minutes in?
It's pure chaos here in this train.
I know. Well, my prediction was 100% wrong, so there's a lot more activity now in the first 15-20 minutes. Doesn't mean the race is over. For a lot of these drivers, they're gonna keep going on. We still have Cortez in the lead with a 206.5. Zipperburn Jr., sorry, falling again. And rounding out your top 3 is gonna be Gino, but again, followed by Roca. And Roca was trying to get Gino to let him through so he could maybe find more time to get within Zipperburn Jr.'s range.
Yeah, the top 3 podium looks a little lonely right now. I guess Gino is have a tail. I wouldn't say he's under threat, but someone is following, so.
Yeah, his time before was almost like 3/10, but something must have happened where Roca was pushed back to at least 8, 7, 10.
On board with Sodi Vate, following Wood, Richie up front. A little deep for Richie. Oh, now in the front straight, he's under attack, but none of these 2 cars particularly excelled in straight line, so let's see if we take a look-see in the inside on turn 1. Nope, wait.
I'm just going to commentate on that too, because Queasy is going to lose a position. George Beverly III is going to opt to pit right now. That's going to take away his pit, or his mandatory, so let's see where he ends up at the end of his pit time.
Justin is still threatening Williams' position. They were bumper to bumper through turn. That would be, I don't know. Goes turn 1. There. There it is. There we go. We're back. We're so back. Ferrari strategy. Okay. Yep, we're back into nothing changed. Justin is still threatening Williams' spot.
And I'm sorry, Cube. There's gonna be an interruption. I don't know if you're looking at this. Rigatoni and Shatner, cars 997, 911, going too wide into corner. Almost making contact there. That's gonna be P12, P13. They're 2/10, but that's gonna bring the train behind them a lot closer. So they might have a lot more activity. That's gonna be an overtake by McKenzie. McKenzie taking a position away in P14 from Williams. That's gonna be P15 for Williams, just behind the two fighting for that P11, P12 spot. Or sorry, just that P12 spot. That's Shatner and Rigatoni.
I was very tight through the beginning of sector 3. I believe right here, not right here, but in the beginning of sector 3, those turns, multiple of them, are inspired by Hockenheim Stadium section. Quite technical, very slow speed, traction limited for sure. Looks like Rigatoni. Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, realistically, it doesn't really depend on the variation of the circuit, though. It all depends on the driver. Cortez leads, followed by Zipperburn Jr.
Oh, car 43. I'm so sorry for the interruption. Car 43 is going to get a drive-through penalty.
Uh-oh, what's the name? Aoki? Yep, that's Aoki.
Aoki.
Must have spent all his speed token.
I'm going to be going for the move down the inside. That is a beautiful overtake, if I do say so myself. And that is going to be up into the P number 10 position, now into the top 10. Also keeping the point out, now a quarter of a second now between Gino and Rocha. That's going to be a key battle to keep our eyes on. And the Telmaneri heading down the back straight. It looks like the Aston Martin is not going to have as much straight line speed, maybe because they're both exactly the same car. May head back to back battle between Sky and Shanta as they come down the back stretch. It's going to be an interesting one to see what will happen and where it will happen. You got to wonder where you're going to be looking to make these overtakes around this infamous circuit. It is if you do not know, this is the second of the American double headers. It is week number 2. It's round number 2. It is Kota. Next week we go to Snetterton, a very different circuit. We go from a purpose-made racing circuit to a purpose-made club circuit. So it's going to be a very different, interesting dynamic as well as we head across the pond. Realistically, though, two teammates battling right now.
After interrupt, car 231 GB3 got a yellow again. Looks like he is coming into turn 1, uphill braking. Did he make contact with a pit exit car? Yes, contact. He did.
Yeah, and he's going to return to pits for that. Also, I believe Aoki's now exiting the pits for that drive-through. Oh yeah, Beverly III returning to pits instead of opting to drive back himself. So there must have been major damage on that collision.
Or he's just done racing. It has not been a nice night for him.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's going to be a double overtake on the teammates. Rigatoni and I believe that's going to be McKenzie. Almost, or not a double overtake. Krylikowski looking for the double overtake though. Oh my goodness, they're going to be
oh no, Rigatoni spun T1.
Rigatoni losing a lot of positions now into turn.
Yeah, as right now, seen with Sean Williams goes to look for the move, did not work out. Back to you, Marlon.
Yeah, well, Sean Williams is going to have that opportunity to take over for McKenzie because, Rigatoni, and he does. So he's going to gain a position, but he's also going to lose a position, which for the driver standing, I'm unsure where he stands. I'll check again, but it's going to be, let's say, interesting. It's already
back onto Sodi Fade versus Richie Wood in the back straight. Wait, he's eyeing on the inside on the turn 12.
He's gonna commit to that inside. No, he's not. He's gonna back out.
Would definitely tighten the corner for him. He has to back out.
We're racing the full hour, folks. The full hour.
We are on to Austin Townsend coming into 11, diving down on Allen. Is he gonna make it stick? Tight exit.
Oh, contact.
Allen definitely make it very difficult for Townsend to exit. Did not give him the full track width to use. Hinder him on the exit on the back straight. Now Porsche trailing a Mercedes. I mean, displacements matter here, so.
And Fade is looking to take a position that he's going to take that position because Wood is going to opt to pit this lap.
So we're near the window.
Yeah, well, speaking of pits, that's one thing you got to think about now, is where are they going to be making these pit stops? Because they are now within that period of time where the pit stop may be favoured by many drivers. 35 minutes to 25 minutes, that is when most drivers will most likely opt to pit. The top 23 still yet to pit, as right now we see good old Justin looking for that move one more time. We'll maybe look for a move up the inside on the Sky livery, and they will get it done. That is a beautiful move, if I do say so myself. And then into the S's we will go, of course. Not actually called the S's because they just call them corner numbers, but we give them our own names. Through the right, through the left, into the right again, as that will be Roger and Wood into the pit lane. They will now serve their pit stop at the 35-minute, 37 mark, and it's still Cortez who leads from Zipperbird Jr. and Gino. Fade then rounds in P number 4. They've had a nice little race so far, but this battle right now between Mackenzie, Shanta, Williams is the one to watch. It's a nice little battle just at the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah, you were talking about Fade and Gino. Yeah, we were talking about them earlier as well. But yeah, oh my goodness, I keep saying yeah. But that lead, or that follow, who was following Roca? Roca, I believe, is pitting. Roca's not anywhere to be seen in the top 5.
Yeah, Roca pit. So he just came out, I believe.
So Roca's gonna
he
opt for a slight undercut, where the 30-minute mark might be the ideal, but it might be a lot later for the ideal pit stop because we have a cold track, so maybe tire degradation isn't going to be as affected. Cortez pitting, there we go. That's going to be P1 taking the pit lane.
And Roca has a very long clean air in front of him. Maybe he can put in some good time.
Should be able to climb back into a position that he wants, maybe into the top 5 once again, maybe a top 3 position. And that's going to be C. Lee, 826, looking at a move, but backs out. That's going to be a lot of wasted time, though. White Scarver, 6/10, 5/10 behind Roca.
That's going to be the key.
Yeah, no, it's gone into the pit. We have Perlikowski, who the names are changing. We have Eaton into turn 1.
Yeah, Ian's going to go for the move down into turn number 1. It's not going to work. It will work out for Eaton, not so much for Karowski, as that's going to be extremely unfortunate. Race leader of Cortez into the pit lane. They make their pit stop, followed by Gino, Turek, and Martin. That's going to give Zipperburn Jr. the race lead for the time being. Cortez is going to have to hope for one heck of an outlap if he wants to keep that race lead within his grasp. As we head down the back straight one more time, you see the race leader right there. Going to be going back over to Karowski, though, for no signal. SCR, and through the right-handers, through the left-handers, over the crest and down the hill you will come, and this is where the traction is going to come into favour. Down into the braking zone and onto the back stretch. It's going to be continuing on with that throttle as much as possible, and it's going to be going for the outside. Actually, is going to be Adam Turaj. Apologies, and that is going to be going through the right hand there for Violator Racing, but hopefully not so much the barriers. Through the right hander into the left hander, trying to get past that McLaren just in front of him.
I'm sorry, they might want to be careful about that because it looks like they're teammates here.
Well, it's what we love, a good old teammate fight, but they're working together as we seem to have a bit of a sandbag on the track. We'll ignore that for the time being. It's not a glitch, it's a game feature. Down into the braking zone and into the left-hander one more time and onto the back stretch. You got to wonder if they are teammates. Could there be team orders that come into play? The one driver may be faster. Do they switch around? The top 13 the other drivers still yet to pit in this race with 32 minutes 9 seconds left on the clock. Closer and closer, it seems like he will inch only millimeters, but is a little bit too far back for a dive. Not going to work out that time as do continue on. White Scarver seeming to close in on Rocha after that pit stop just ahead as the teammates of Watt and Turaj do continue to battle here at the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. And considering is actually going to look for a move, looks for the inside, looks for the outside. A little bit of a mistake there by McLaren, but it's not going to work out there either, Marlon.
Yeah, considering them McLaren teammates, maybe they are their F1 counterparts. We do have Whitescarver P17, 6/10 behind Roca. Roca, as we saw before, was in the top 5, fighting for the top 3 position. So something, maybe Roca's pace isn't as good right now, but now he's going to be passing all the people pitting right now. So he's going to gain some positions here. So is Whitescarver. So Whitescarver is going to be following 5/10 behind now. 6/10 losing time, 7/8. Roca finding time, trying to get away. Cortez is gonna jump up to 7th position, still trying to look for that time to get back into the top 3. Zipperburn Jr. still hasn't pit yet. None of the top 6 has pit. So Cortez, once these guys in the top 6 pit, he's going to be taking those positions back.
So right now, Cortez, he was our race leader. He's right now 64 seconds behind our race leader, Zipperburn Jr. 64-second delta. With a tire change pit delta, the perfect pit delta is 63 seconds. So if Zipperburn Jr. execute a perfect stop, it would come out just ahead of Cortez. As I'm speaking, I think Zipperburn comes in, so we'll see if Cortez can get his position back, or Zipperburn Jr. successfully overcut Cortez. As Cortez right now is into sector 3, into the stadium section, into turn 15 and 14, going into the triple right-hander.
Yeah, and as we reach the halfway mark of the race, we can only imagine what the top 6, well, 3 of the top 6 is now pitted. We can only imagine what the rest of the top 6 decide on their pit stop. Are they going to what?
And Zipperburn Jr. got a perfect pit delta of a stationary time of 32 seconds. As Cortez coming out into the last turn.
Is going to get a drive-through. I'm sorry, car 231 grabs a drive-through. That's going to be Beverly the 3rd.
Oh, that's going to be just not enough.
Yeah, well,
Cortez maintain his race lead.
Yeah, well, that's the key factor when it comes down to it realistically, as they are going to continue for this lead there momentarily, and it gets pardon me, beverage. As right now, Cortez, he's on minute lead, 2.2 behind Alan, who's P number 3, and it's an interesting one, really. Looking at the lap times as well, Rocha sits P number 7 for the time being. Alan P number 3, they are still yet to pit. Cortez will continue to close in on them as much as possible, as right now we are going to be looking at Tyler Martin, who's going to be continuing on around this part of the circuit, further and further, closer and closer with every single lap, with every single opportunity that you do end up needing through this track, through the left-hander, into the right-hander, then into the lefts again as you head through the long right, into the left. It's what you love to see. Tyler Martin, the 716, is seemingly unable to get past at this moment in time. 28.03 remain on the clock. It is going to be one hell of a fight.
Right now we have passed the textbook pit window. We are in lap 14, so textbook pit window was 1 to 2 laps ago. Some of these drivers are feeling quite brave about their tires.
Yeah, as you say that, look at Roca fighting the 2 Cuphead cars. He does take the fastest lap of the race, but he's in a Cuphead sandwich, it seems. Looking to overtake both of them here. That's going to be Gino trying to defend off Roca, but Roca 2/10, Cortez 1/10 from Alan. No, there we go. Alan's going to be pitting that lap. So is Holmes. So that's the 2 silver drivers taking their pit lane. Eden still opting to stay out. Cortez taking the P2 spot, but he should be able to take the P1. Zipperburn Jr. follows P3. We're just going to wait and see where Eden's going to pit, and that's when these 2 will jump back into their P1, P2, maybe P3 for Gino here. And Roca, Gino still fighting for that position.
In this Cuphead sandwich, I wonder if Gino is gonna, if he's in the same voice channel with Whitescarver, because if I am,
I am be some flashing lights.
Totally backing Rocco up. I will tell White Scarver, hey, in this turn, I'm going to back him up, pull out or pull in. See if we can get both Cuphead in front of no signal.
I'm gonna make a reference to 2021 Abu Dhabi. You heard it over the radio back then. Back him up, back him up. You got to
Exactly.
wonder what on the radio of the team as they continue going on here. If you flashing lights is Roger. He does not seem to be in a very nice position, but that is a lapped car which will move out of the way because of the blue flags as we continue down the back here at the Circuit of the Americas. Who knows, they may not look for another pit stop. Eaton still leads 15 laps into this race. It is Eaton leading, but Cortez by net. It's then Zipperburn and Gino. Rocher's right there. White Scarver with Wood and...
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's gonna be P33 899. He just goes straight off the tracks, full speed.
Yeah, it's actually Rudderham as well. As we get this replay with a drive-through penalty, we'll get a replay on this. Was there contact into this corner?
Oh yeah, that was a contact.
That was
Not terrible, but
that was a car coming out of the pit lane, very slow on the apex.
Yeah, but they just go so fast here, and he's gonna go straight off. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I was talking about.
That is weird.
Yeah, that's going. Could that be a disconnect of some issue? But the car would have kept going. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we can get some information on that from the driver, as that's going to be a little bit of contact causing both cars to drift, even if it was only a little bit of a nudge. Justin Rutsalainen going to be continuing on through the right hand. They're going to be going under the throttle as much as possible. Curtis Lee on the back, 0.101. P number 13 looking for P number 12 at the same time as this battle continues further back for the 695 Bottle of Water Racing Team version number 2, the 695. Not helping the stereotypes as we continue on throughout this battle. Curtis Lee seeming to lose a little bit of time in that last sector as well, it seems. So they're going to be continuing a little bit further up the field as we watch this lovely battle between a Aston Martin and a Porsche.
And like I was saying earlier, we were just waiting to find out when Eden was going to pit. That's going to be a relatively fast pit stop, though. He's going to be ending up in P20, though, far away from the P1 where he was. Cortez again. We'll go over the top 5 again, which is Cortez, Zipperburn Jr., Gino, Roca, White Scarver. Roca and Gino still fighting for that P3 spot, so we'll see by the end of this 20-minute, or by the end of their hour stint, who's going to come out into the top 3, and then we'll have them interviewed, like we always do.
It's like Rotherham got a ET, so spent up all his speed token. Track limit here is very, very hard to judge since it's always the white line. So if you are trying to use the curb on the exit, and to jail you go.
Good old F1 track limits, and like I said earlier, this is the only circuit with them in this game. As we continue through the left-hander one more time into the triple apex right-hander. Looking at the timing board on the left-hand side, you can see a few battles beginning to develop. It's between Gino, Rocher and White Scarver for the battle for P number 3, the battle for P number 5, the battle for P number 6, you should say, between Rudd and Journer. Then a little bit further down the field, you've got the battle for P10 between Watts, Riggs and Lee, as well as a little battle for P number 15 between McKinney and She. As we do continue going, as actually She's going to lose out here. Queasy is going to be right on the back of him, going to be continuing into this left-hander. Was that a mistake by She on that last lap? Because that timing came hella down into the third sector. Jay Queasy, one of the fellow commentators, is going to look for the move around the outside, but you lose too much speed. Switches into the inside. Will go for the outside down into the penultimate corner. He will go late on the brakes. Wheels
a little
lovely overtake. A little bit of a wobble there for She. That's going to give Williams a chance to move through. Little double. First goes Queasy, then goes Williams. She's going to lose out on 2 positions there from that little rear end wobble on his Macca.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of pressure coming from Queasy. That's what allowed him to take that overtake. A little mistake, just letting Queasy through, but the consequence of that mistake, almost making contact there. Might have made contact, but again, just little mistakes, allowing for the overtake to happen. But again, that consequence is a double overtake. So he's going to be, or that's going to be Shea losing 2 positions to Queasy and William.
Though Shea lost 2 positions, I would say he saved it fairly well. Oversteering on turn 19 exit, Very often it's a 360, if not send you to the inside wall for damage. So I will take 2 position over damage or doing a 360. Going up to...
it looks like these McLaren teammates, it's going to be Wood and Taraj. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a mistake from Taraj. He's going to lose a position to Fade, but can Fade hold on to it? No, Taraj is going to fight back. These 2 teammates, that's going to be Wood and Taraj. It seems Papaya rules from F1 has come into play into the GT championship, but Fade not able to hold on to that position. So again, Wood and Taraj looking to battle again. Fade looking behind them, see if they can make a mistake as teammates. Maybe he can pull off a win like Charles Leclerc did in Imola. Not a win, just a position change.
I got a replay here. Martin Rix and DJ Watts. Looks like they have exchanged close.
Yeah, Martin Riggs, yeah, DJ Watts just ran me outside, or Martin Riggs may actually, as that is going to be a lovely move right there. One mistake by the Lexus and the Aston Martin takes advantage. It is Riggs in the Aston, Watts in the Lexus coming down the main straight. Sky's going to be right there with him as well, looking for the move on the Lexus now, but that Lexus in a straight line, we all know its speed. Ferrari though has the advantage through the S's with its more nimble front end. The Lexus trying to put up a defensive fight, and it looks like it's going to be working out for this time, heading down into the S's one more time. Kind of a rip-off Maggers and Beckett's, but each to their own is what this circuit is made of. It's made up of several corners from several different circuits around the world, and that's why they call it Circuit of the Americas. And through the left-hander, we shall wait and see. Heading into the throttle one more time, going to be continuing on. Not going to work out that time though, as we do continue in this battle, and it is going to be a little bit unlucky as we head down into the braking zone.
You can see even with the negative 40 kilo ballast of the Lexus, any medium to high speed corner in sector 1, he is suffering from the lack of downforce since it's an older car. But because of the we have a 295 yellow, that would be Jeremy Yarin. Let's try to replay that. It's in the S's. Is that a self delete? Oh, yup, spun. Man. He's healthy, he's just toasty tires.
That rear end, yeah.
It is quite difficult to control the S's. The S's, you have to be on the knife edge with your aero balance to get a good lap time. And your aero balance and your tire wear may not progress correctly and in sync as the stint progress. So you're pushing, and each lap the balance of the car can change. So right now, Yarn is just behind Austin Townsend. Looks like Rodham just overtook Aoki again. See if I can replay that. In the S's, Aoki, yes, in the... Oh, Aoki did a big whoopsie. Brown pants. No problem. Came right back out. Only lose 1 possession, so not too deal.
It's the Green Hill livery car.
An issue.
Yeah, it's the Green Hill livery car. As the Green Hill livery car makes its way through the hills here at COTA, which realistically it is kind of a hill, that sector 1 on such a higher elevation than the rest of the circuit, Sparks decide to fly off the back of Rutsalainen's Cabin Faber car, heading into the final braking zone though, through the left-hander, onto the throttle one more time. That's going to give Panzo Rigatoni, infamous here indeed, number 3, heading onto the throttle one more time, closer and closer, inches apart, millimeters apart. You can scream at each other through the windows. Goes for the dive down the inside ring.
There's contact, and that's an unfortunate. That's an unfortunate end to that battle. That was 0-second gap. They were side by side, and looked like Rigatoni was gonna take that position, but just gets knocked out by Rosenthal. And an unfortunate contact. Again, we have some prominent battles still though. Seeley looking at 410, or sorry, this whole train fighting for what looks to be P11. Three-man train. That's going to be Riggs, Lee, Sky. We have a train further back. That's going to be Shatner, Transu, and Busterski. We have a small train. Well, just a little fight between Rosenthal and Holm.
Got in here, Marlon. As
go for
right
it.
Now we see a little fight coming in. Lee tried to go for the move there on Riggs. I'm going to do a quick apology. I have been calling the Aston Martin Rutsalainen the entire time. It's Rosenthal, so my apologies. through the left-handers as we do continue going into the braking zone one more time. That Ferrari just behind him of Sky trying to make its way through as much as possible, yet it does not seem to work out either time he tries it. Maybe around the outside, as right now you do look at Shanter actually for Sky Tempest Racing. Looks for the move around the outside, not going to work out there either.
Oh, that's going to be wide by Transu. Oh my goodness, that's going to be too off track.
Yeah, that's going to be contact.
Oh, that's another contact.
Third contact. That is going to be by the Porsche, it seems. We will get a replay on this. Let's have a look and digest this. So the Ferrari first goes wide. A little bit of contact by the Porsche. They end up going off. Ferrari comes back onto the circuit. Porsche right there as well, seemingly not aware that the car was there on the left-hand side either. Makes contact again, but that is going to be Jacob Boosterski, and that is going to be, and that seems to be the person who will get the most of it as Christian Holmes makes his way through. That is a lovely defensive play against Rigatoni, and down the main straight we will come. That Ford Mustang going to have the advantage over the Ferrari.
Yeah, and we were talking about that P11 fight is now turned into a 5-car battle for P10. Watts, Riggs, Lee, Sky, and Martin looking to get that P10 spot. A lot more points in the P10 or the top 10. Let's go look at what Gino and Roca have cooked up. It looks like Gino has now gained a lot more time away from Roca, so Gino might, I'm not gonna curse him, won't say it. White Scarver looking behind. That's his Cuphead teammate Gino, looking at a P4 position from Roca, but Roca holding him off. We have Tourage and Wood still working together to maintain that 6th and 7th spot. And then, oh, we got a drive-through by the 997 car. Who's that? That's going to be Rigatoni.
Oh no, buddy.
Limits here at Kota seeming to show their hand. May not have that much of a poker face, as right now Rigatoni is going to be P number 26. He's going to get a drive through. The 997 going to be falling further and further back down the field. The gaps up top right now do continue as right now, as you also see the Ford Mustang going for the move. As no, correction, that's a Ferrari. As the other Ferrari is right behind. No, it's a McLaren, my bad. As there is so many cars and it's hard to tell in the night, especially when you got such dark.
Rocha got a yellow flag, but he's in front of both Cuphead right now.
That's going to be both of the Cuphead cars. We're going to see the replay here, and it's going to be maybe a little bit of contact. Whoa! Together, the Cuphead pit maneuver, call up the cops, and that is going to be extremely unfortunate, maybe not intentional as they headed into the right-hander, maybe unaware or maybe netcode. That can be the key factor right now, though. It's going to be Roca who's going to be on the defensive.
Oh my goodness,
Ginto's right behind him, rear end squiggle. Here comes the other one. It's going to be wheel to wheel. It's a battle of the Astons. This is what you love. It's a freeway, fine, but you gotta want. But it's two teams against each other. The Cupheads seeming to be in an advantage where they can use each other, where they can use that advantage. It is the battle for the final place on the podium. It's Roca who leads it, followed by Gino, then White Scarver. So even if they do get past Roca, is there going to be an inter-team squabble which could end up costing them the podium? Because right now it seems like they can't really work together, as they are just unable to get past Roca at this time, as Roca did get past them. Apologies that we missed that overtake earlier on. Roca did overtake them, as if you do remember, he was in a good old Cuphead sandwich, making, to be honest, a whole meal bread, as it does seem, as if you get two yellow cars, that's your bread, and you get the nice fluffy bits with the filling in the middle. But right now it's not a sandwich, as we go around the outside for Zach Sky, and it's going to continue on throughout this battle, closer and closer with each lap. They will inch closer. Got to be going into the triple right-hander. Not going to work out this time though, and that is going to be a little bit more unlucky. Going to be heading into the right. Going to be looking for an opportunity, looking for that gap to open. But this Ferrari of Sky, he's been stuck behind the Lexus of Lee for quite a while, but Lee makes a mistake. Not so much for the Ferrari. Maybe an advantage coming out of that final corner. We've got the other Ferrari of McKinney right behind, of Martin as well, right behind him. Going to be getting all over this place. We've got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 and 6 cars in this fight. It is what you love. It's what we know. This is SRA we love. We got 11 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. We are in that final third, almost into the final 6th.
About 6 laps down. So if they are itching to get any move, that's not gonna die down any less. Right now, the Lexus is definitely struggling in Sector 1 in the high-speed S's. The lack of downforce is definitely hurting him, but as long as you're occupying the racing line, not much the car behind can do. You can just defend. You don't even need to defend, you just need to be there. That's only one racing line, the high-speed S's. Curtis Lee's relatively safe there. But this train is not gonna go anywhere soon. Let's look at the top. We have Cortez all by himself, very lonesome. 7 seconds later, we have Dixon Burn Sr. And other 10 seconds back, we have Roger. Roger is building a gap between him and P4 Gino, Mike Gone. For those broadcasters, if they follow the channel, Mike Gone probably has. Oh no!
For car 716, that's gonna be. Who is that going to be?
Tyler Martin.
Tyler Martin.
That's a shame to spend all your speed token this late on the race and get spanked with. That's gonna be extra about 30 seconds or so of race time. You're gonna be doing nothing.
Oh no, and Tyler Martin was part of that, that six car
Six
train.
Yup,
so
that's
he's
correct.
going to be officially out of that fight. McKenchie's going to take that P14. Well, that's if McKenchie can keep it consistent. Martin now taking that drive through, so he's going to try and get rid of it as quick as possible. But again, that train for P10 still ongoing. McKenchie losing off a little, 1 second now behind from the train, but Sky 3/10, 2/10 behind Lee, looking to get past that Lexus. But as we know, that Lexus on the straight so much faster than that Ferrari. But in the S's, this Ferrari had just been sniffing that position change from Lee.
You can see take a defensive line through there, as you can see it. He's all over the back. The Ferrari trying to make its way through as it will look for the outside line. Not going to work out there though, and it's going to be all over the back of him. A little bit of contact made there, and this battle continues as we head down towards the braking zone. Heavy braking. You got to wonder as they head over the crest. Will it be the Ferrari? Will it be the Lexus? Who is going to have the advantage cube?
I'm gonna switch the battle real quick to Richie Wood and Zodi Fate down back straight into turn 12. That was a position change in 11. Right now they're still side by side into turn 12. Zodi Fate is gonna get the inside for next corner. That's right. There's some door wrapping and a pit maneuver right here by Zodi Fate to Richie Wood. Yeah, Zodi Fate pull over real quick to wait for. Yes, wait. Yep. You know he has done wrong. Very good sportsmanship. Like to see that. Yep. No matter how hard they fight, they know that wasn't the correct way to overtake a position. And the fight continues. Now we'll go back again. Justin versus Sex Sky into turn 15. Oh, so Sky must have lost a position to Justin on the pursuit to Curtis Lee. Now Justin's gonna have his chance.
Every single chance you have, you got to take it realistically. But down this back straight and onto the main straight, we've got plenty on the back straight, plenty on the main straight. Here in this battle, you see
I see yellow flag, Burns and Townsend.
Turn number 1, that is going to be Burns, and that is going to be a burn to the end, heading down into the braking zone. Not turn number 1, I should say. At the end of the back stretch, we see the move down the inside, doesn't work out. Porsche turns in, contact on the rear, Spinara.
Oof, that was a very optimistic dive for sure. A little bit of long-range missiles. Hopefully the damage isn't too horrifying. They have about
Name the team name first.
4 laps left. If they have
What
the
the team
damage.
name? Well, the team name fits. Dive bomb. As right now, I'm going to be looking for the outside one more time. The Ferrari seeming to be on the Lexus all the way throughout the S's. However, then it seems on the as soon as it opens up, that Lexus decides to fly away with it. Looks at the inside, does not work out that time either for McKenny, as he's now caught up to this battle. Lee now a second behind Riggs. So it's closed up to about a second as it does currently stand between the two battles. A little bit of a rift starting to form as right now Sky is not looking at the Sky. He's in P13 and looking for somebody. May get put down into P number 14. Lee's right there. Ferrari down the inside. It's McKenny versus Sky. And that's going to be a magnificent move from McKenny. That's how you do it. That's what we'll love with 5 minutes 55 seconds remaining on the clock. If we're going to go for this right now, though, it's going to be Shanta versus Martin. Shanta versus Martin down this back straight, it seems, as the Merc seemingly have got past both of them. No, Porsche actually on the inside. Apologies, it's a bit hard to tell when it's dark.
It was Busterski.
As we continue going, as Busterski continues to get that position, and that is going to be a jump up into P number 24, heading into the braking zone, into the left-hander, and unlike Formula 1, they cover it off, they don't want to dive bomb.
Going back to McKenny, still chasing Curtis Lee. Now that Sky's a teeny bit further back, if you get the pressure off his back, Justin can try to eyes forward. And look at the Lexus in the Sector 1, where Lexus has a slight disadvantage. But nothing Justin can do, regardless how close he is, because there's only one racing line. Like there's a mischief. Curtis Lee is having a teeny bit of understeering. The front end is a little bit gone.
Yeah, well, it may depend realistically as we go over the crest and down the hill one more time. We're getting towards the end of this race. We're in the final 5 minutes. And we've had some chaos, but it looks like we are going to have a definitive answer with these battles in the dying moments and in these final battles. These are going to be going all the way to the line from what we are able to gather here tonight as we head down the back straight one more time. McKenny, though, is losing out so much time to the Lexus of Lee. Riggs is getting away scot-free, but it looks like the Lexus is starting to close up on him again as the battle continues throughout this circuit. Fade on the back of Wood on the timing board on the left hand side, as that is actually going to be Rowdy Burns, who had a moment. We'll go to Watts, see what happened here. Was there contact, or was it just a nice clean move down into the straight? And it's going to be look like it's going to be nice and clean for the time being through the curve, which is slightly curved into the braking zone. We've just got a replay of a lovely little drive in this 5-car train. Marlon.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a battle between Wood and Fade for that 7th position. They came out of the final corner almost side by side, but now they're entering to the first corner. Fade looking to get a better exit here over Wood, but Wood is taking it out. Fade's going to be 3/10 behind that fight. Gino now looking to fight Roca, as we were talking about earlier. Roca was in between that Cuphead sandwich, but now Gino's looking to take that position back with the help of his teammate keeping up with him. So they're going to be 4/10 back up into the final 2 minutes. Who's going to take this P3 spot? That seems like the only top 3, or that seems to be the only top 3 spot that's vulnerable right now, because we have Cortez 7 seconds in front of Zipperburn, but Zipperburn also 7 seconds in front of P3, which is Roca. Gino now 2/10 behind Roca. Can Roca stick it out? They're entering, what turn is it?
Turn 12 in the braking zone.
Okay, that's going to be turn 12. Gino looking on the outside thinks better of it, so they're going to be fighting to the bitter end. 2 minutes left. Let's see if they can make a move. Fade 2/10 in the same turn, in turn 12. Can Fade make a move on Wood for that P7 spot? We have a battle. McKenzie looking to go side by side with Lee. Backs out of it. That's going to be, might be the best choice, because he might be able to find another overtaking spot. As we saw, Lee is not really having the greatest runs through the corners. So McKenzie finding a position there. Sky catching back up, trying to get that position back from McKenzie to pressure him again. And then Queasy 5 seconds back from that fight. We do have the leader on his final lap. So Cortez, for sure, as we saw, is going to be taking the win for now. Zipperburn Jr. following suit in the second spot. Roca and Gino still fighting it out. 5/10 behind is Gino now. White Scarver, his teammate, helping 3/10, but there might be some squabble. We don't know. They've been consistently racing together, so maybe no squabble here. So there are team orders in place. The two people that I didn't see have team orders was Tourage and Wood, so there might be a squabble there, but no, Wood is 12 seconds back. There's going to be a drive-through for car 231 this late in the race.
That would be GB3.
Yeah, well, the track limits always seem to bite when it comes down to that. As continuing on, it looks like Sky's going to go for the move around the outside. He's got Lee right in front of him as well. But like you said, leader is on the final lap. They come now down through the final few. We will keep an eye on that map to see where the leader will be so we can catch him coming across the line. But right now, the eyes are on this battle. Zach, Sky, McKenzie and Lee. It's a three-way fight. It has been for a while, but now the race leader comes down into sector number 3. Sky's all over the back of McKenzie, looks for the move down the back straight. Maybe the best opportunity, maybe the final opportunity here in this race. We've been going at it for over and out for just under an hour at this moment in time, and we will reach the hour mark in 10 seconds. Right now, Richie Woodvoe going to be looking for the move on Tourage, as continuing on down into the braking zone, looks for the outside, but continuing to go on. The white flag flies round the outside. It's going to be unlucky. It's going to be unsafe. But the final for this race, it's Cortez. They are going to do it from the start of this race. They've had everything in their hands. A safe getaway, a safe drive. They won in Indianapolis. They win in COTA. In American engineering, they win the American doubleheader to open up this season here at the Sim Racing Alliance. Right now, though, Justin McKenzie is going to be continuing this battle against Sky. Sky looks like he's got the move done. McKenzie,
and there's going to be contact.
It's infamous for dive bombs in Formula 1, but it's not going to work out this time either. Sky's going to look for it though. He's going to go down the inside. He's not going to give it up. He's never going to let him down. He's never going to go around or desert yet. Through the right-hander, through the long right-hander, onto the battle, onto the straight, through the left-hander we will go. The podium is rounded out, but this battle continues. Goes wide. Sky trying to avoid those drive-throughs, trying to avoid the penalties. Little bit of a last move effort. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? Who's going to go? It's Sky. Unlucky for some, but lucky today. It's P number 13 for Sky. McKenzie, P number 14. And we still have a fight in the back in P18, 19. And Eden just got P18.
Oh
last turn overtake.
That's going to be wheel-to-wheel fight there, and now all of the drivers are coming in. As we see, the top 3 is going to be Cortez, and that's going to be Roca. Oh, it's not Roca. Who was the second position? It was
Dick Zipperburn Jr.
Yeah, it's Dick Zipperburn Jr. taking P2, so he's going to be leaving early.
Oh, Gino, penetration by the Yaren on rake.
At the final lap.
Okay, very nice. Waited, didn't take the position. Oh no, and give up a couple more position himself. Oh no, Jason. Not nice.
As we say, the race doesn't end until you cross that finish line. That's going to be at least 2 or 3 positions lost by Yaren. And an unfortunate contact in the final lap.
That was an optimistic move. It cost him more than
optimistic.
What he hoped to gain. And we have Rotherham rounding out.
That is how you do it. Talk about a race, gentlemen. And what a race that was. Plenty of battles to the line, but I think one thing we got to talk about. Cortez, start to finish, leading every lap, apart from when the drivers ahead of him had not made his pit stop, and he had what a race all around, those plenty of battles. That's why we love Kota.
Right.
Yeah, just what a dominant drive by Cortez, taking
Cortez
an 8-second, 7-second gap. And we'll interview him right now as Cube pulls him in.
Hello, Samuel. You're on YouTube right now. Say hi to your friends and family.
Oh, I really excited by that race.
Well
To
driven.
family, to my team, TCA Racing team, my teammates in another division in D2, my other teammate in D3, and D5, I think. I'm not D4.
We were ahead for so long. Was there any pressure at all?
At the final, I feeling the pressure because I pushing and pushing, and I have the 3 warnings.
Uh-oh. That is hard.
Calm down.
That is hard.
Yeah, you just in fact, Cortez, you just talked about the warnings there. What was it like out on that circuit? Of course, the only circuit with Formula 1 track limits on this game, and like you said, you had 3. What was it like trying to keep it within the lines, knowing that it's a lot harder to not get a warning around this circuit than others like Indy last week and Snetterton next week?
Yeah, in the first 30 minutes, I didn't gain any track limits, but in the second stint, I was very fast, very surprised for me, the pace, and I push and the track limits come with that. I have to put a lot of train for this race, because I never race here, but very happy about the result. And for Snetterton, I think I never raced here in Snetterton, but I had to train a lot, same than in this track.
Well, it looks like not having been to a place before doesn't hinder you a whole lot, since you have a pretty dominant race here. The closest we have seen that you were under pressure was when Dick Silverburn Jr. came out of the pit. That was like the closest he has gotten. So for this race, where did you get your track limit warning the most?
In the first part, in the SS, it was very stressful. Yeah, because in this part, you gain or lose a lot of time.
That's how this track is in Sector 1.
Yeah, and the limit is or 1/10 or 5/10 low. Because I have to raise to the limit in that.
Enough. And Marlon, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that double first place finish. So again, I guess emotions are high right now. That's going to be a double first position place. So how are you going to be practicing for the Snetterton race coming up now that we're moving away from America?
In my past season, I am very fast driver in one lap, but my race pace was very bad, so literally. And for this season, with the first race, I had a lot of motivation to improve my race pace, and that looks in this race.
Hope you will have us, and again, the same dominant Snetterton.
I don't think so.
We won't count you out, but I'll definitely be looking out for you next week.
I'm sure you're making some fantasy team owner very happy.
Yeah.
Well, Cortez, that is all we have. Is there anybody you would like to shout out before you get to your post-race briefing?
You can repeat it? You don't really understand very well.
Is there anybody you would like to shout out? Very well, we shall let you get back to your VC, and
Yeah.
hopefully you have a good race next week in Snetterton.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
No worries.
Superburn Jr. There he is. I'm pulling him right now.
Marlon, we'll let you take the lead on this one.
Zippy.
Sorry. Zipperman Jr., welcome to the commentator box. We pulled you in because you pulled a P2. I don't know if you're talking, but...
Zippy. He asked to be in here last week. I denied him. Now he's ignoring us.
Maybe that's why he's ignoring us, because you denied him this
Let's
last...
look for Seth real quick. I'll kick him out. See if he wants to come back in later. Let's talk with Seth. Hello, Seth.
Hello.
Quite a drive. You were been in a Cuphead sandwich for quite some time.
Oh my gosh, was I?
How was the Cuphead sandwich? Was it frustrating? I saw some flashes.
Yeah, well, the flashes were distraction. I was trying to get him to, track limits or something by looking back.
Cheeky.
Our pace was exactly the same. So I'd get up to him, but he'd had me in sector 1, but I had him in sector 3. And so it was just a back and forth. And then from 28 minutes on, I had 3 track cuts. So I was just trying to attack, but not ruin my race at the same time. It was rough.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask though, coming out of that sandwich, how did you feel about that? And then where did your priorities lie in maintaining your pace just to, keep that position from them?
So after I got by, I didn't even realize they were teammates. I saw that they were both yellow, so I had an inkling, but I was like, after I got by them, they seemed like they were all up on each other. I thought they were battling. I was like, oh, great for me, they're gonna fall back. But then I guess they were talking and they started pushing together. After that, I don't know, I was just locked in because it was managing the track cut, but also just trying to drive enough to where Gino couldn't find a hole to get by, and he was putting up a good fight, and I was having a tough time. I'm sweating right now. I'm not gonna lie.
So you mentioned you were managing track cuts. Were you about to get a DT?
Oh yes, I was 3 deep at 28 minutes. I got 2 of them in 1 lap. It was at it was through the S's, and then at the top of that hill.
I hate the top of the hill. I get that every time, almost.
And then I think I lasted another 5 laps. I don't remember where the 3rd one came from, but I told my teammate, I was like, man, this might be it. I was like, I'm gonna try, but no, they didn't get
28 minutes really. In, or 20 minutes.
Yeah, 28 left, 20 remaining. Yeah.
You have been walking on eggshells since.
Oh yeah, the undercut didn't help as much as I'd hoped either. I messed up the pit stop, so kind of took away the benefits.
And you do return to the podium this week. How are you feeling about that? And what are your thoughts going into Snetterton next week as we leave America?
Pretty big high, considering that I had never raced this track until this past week. So didn't get as much time as I'd like to practice. I mean, I ran a fast hot lap, but I couldn't perform in the quali. So I wish I was higher. I would have had to fight as hard, and I would have had a much chiller race. But going from P6 to P3, I mean, I'm not mad at all. I'm on cloud 9. I just gotta hope that Adam gets a little better quality. He was out in Mexico for all week, so he didn't get to practice at all. So a little rough for a team.
Definitely cloud 9, considering you are the only silver driver on podium.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah.
Who was the other one last? I think it was Fade, huh? That was the other silver driver last
I believe it was Fade. I could check again, but
it was Rocha and Fade last week.
Rocha and Fade, yeah.
There were 2 silver drivers on the podium last week, 1 gold, and now this week there's 2 gold, 1 silver.
Awesome.
Looking for promotion?
I mean, if I'm in D3, I'm good. If I go to gold, that's fine. I prefer it. I don't like qualifying first. I like when the rubber's in and stuff, and I can get a little bit more grip. But it is what it is.
Congratulations for another podium. Hopefully we'll see
Thank you.
again. Saturday
Hope so. I'll hopefully see you guys there. Yeah, have a good night.
too.
Same to you.
Right, let's try Zippy again. Hello, Zippy.
Hey, can you hear me this time?
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Now we're
I was
being-
not ignoring you.
Hashtag
It felt
blame.
like it.
Yeah.
Hashtag blame. It wasn't Zippy. It wasn't Zippy's fault. It was Cube's fault. Never mind.
Yeah,
Anyways,
just blame
How was the
anyways,
drive? You looked lonely, both front and rear.
Yeah, you know, I got helped for sure. We were just watching the replays there, and P3 went a little bit wide into turn 1, so I was happy to kind of pull away, but I had a little bit of a chase going with Cortez in the practice race yesterday, and I was hoping he was on half fuel or something, but he wasn't, because he just ran away from me again today. But no, you know what? The guys battling behind me all race helped out for sure. So I was happy for it. I got my third warning with about 20 minutes left, so added about a second a lap after that and tiptoed all the way around, so that helped me out. But yeah, I'm really happy to be back on the podium for sure.
Yeah, and so you were talking about it. It's a very different aspect. Of course, Indianapolis last week, but of course this circuit of the Americas, going to be very different than next week. But how was that car feeling out there? Of course, with the lower than normal temperatures, not low, but lower than normal. What were the temperature? How was the car dealing with it out there? Was there any like issues with the front or rears, or what did it seem like to you?
You know, the night helped me out. I mean, the Porsche has a little bit of a problem with tire temperatures overall. I think like they're a little touchy. I mean, that could just be my driving as well, but I've heard other guys talk about it too. But overall, it helped me out. I think Snetterton next week it's a little hotter, I think, isn't it? So that might hurt me a little bit.
To be fair though, it is a British track, so
yeah, that's true.
And I will correct it. It's a club circuit.
Can't correct it. It's still British, man.
It's hey. If you there's a flag on our images. They know why we're.
Yeah,
Kweezy's gonna talk to me about this later.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of home knowledge there. I don't know.
How was your pit stop?
I'm in the north.
The pit stop was okay. I tried to go 2 lap stretch on him to maybe jump him in the pits. I think the gap was 4 or 5 seconds before we pitted. I jumped down to 2, and then yeah, once he popped to 2:05.5, I think I was like, oh well, that's faster than my qualifying time. We'll see you later. And yeah, I just kind of watched him drive into the distance. But no, it was good. Like I said, the battling behind really helped me out. I think I would have had more trouble for sure if the drivers behind me could have kind of sorted themselves out to catch up. But you know, this race I got lucky. Sometimes it really screws you. You get caught behind somebody, and this race it helped me out. So
Yeah, I think your pit strategy is as good as it could have been. You're pitting just when you pull in. I saw, look at the pit delta. We're about a second away from him. Ahead of him, actually. 1 second. But then the 5.5 happened.
yeah. The outlaps are pretty important. It's definitely sector 1 is pretty sketchy here on cold tires. Like it was for sure a lot of coasting and a lot of making sure that the tires kind of came up to temperature good. I didn't want to loop it or anything like that. But yeah, overall it was pretty good, and I'm happy so far with 2 good results. Last year I was kind of mid pack in Div 3, so I'm happy to be up near the front and talking to you guys.
So you're in a Porsche, and Snatterton is next week, huh? So are we expecting you again?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping you'll have me back. You know, I think that there's going to be a little bit more of help, like the back straight for sure. I think helps the bigger displacement cars at Coda. So hopefully I'm going to be a little bit better at Snetterton. But we're going to find out. I haven't driven there in quite a while, and you know, every track has, it seems like 5 or 10 drivers that kind of, you know, that's their favorite, and they've had 1,000 laps there when I've got 20, right? So the order kind of shuffles every once in a while. So we'll see. We'll see if the lottery comes up for me again.
If let's go.
Yeah, well, we shall wait and see. We are running out of time, so is there anybody you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, of course. We have, I'm not going to say anything bad about the Mustangs because I got Zip Seniors in D6. He's racing tomorrow, so don't bop him anymore or anything like that. I got the wife and the adopted mother and the adopted family watching. They have a wine night, so wine night's probably taken over by now. They're probably not listening to this, but you know, they get together and watch every week, and you know, to have a wife that supports a hobby like this and shows all the love is really important and appreciated. So love you all. Oh, and my buddy Taro as well. He jumps in and watches. So you know, it's really nice to be loved by all the friends and all the family to get supported in this. So, and thank you guys, of course. The stream makes that happen, so it's appreciated by you guys as well.
Yeah, I almost forgot to wake up for this.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did too. It was an amazing race from you, from everyone, Cortez, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Back.
Well, Marlon, Cube, is there anything you two would like to say before I round this out?
I'm just like last week. Less chaos than I imagined. Good racing is definitely exceeded my expectation as good week, another good week of racing.
Yeah, I'd say another good week of racing. Man, there was, again, the chaos wasn't as big as I thought it was gonna be, but it just happened a lot earlier than I thought it would. So a lot more commentating in the beginning, and then through the end, it just died down a little bit.
So I have two person I feel a little bit sorry, which is GB3 and Enzo Rigatoni. It's like they just got curb stomped tonight. They cannot get a break.
Well, that is the nature of sim racing. Of course, this has been COTA. It's been round number 2, but the racing action this week is not done yet. You can catch the Division 1 VOD up on YouTube very, very soon. Most likely tomorrow night. And then, of course, you're going to be able to watch the Division 5 VOD and this VOD live straight after this. Tomorrow night, the racing action continues here at COTA with Division 2, hosted by Arjun, Mac Morgan, and Ilpo Rutsalainen. Division 4 is brought to you by Trey Morgan and Robert Lacey. Division 6 by Jay Queasy and Justin Roseful. Of course, Division 2 over on Twitch. But we got Snetterton next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Alexa Marshall with Marlon Abubo and Cube Master. Good night.
Good night.